Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Faith can give us courage to face the uncertainties of the future. May I stress the need for courageous, intelligent, and dedicated leadership. Leaders of sound integrity. Leaders not in love with publicity, but in love with justice. Leaders not in love with money, but in love with humanity. Leaders who can subject their particular egos to the greatest of the cause. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in a moment of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. We can walk through the deepest night with a radiant conviction that all things work together for the good. Never, never be afraid to do what's right. The silence of the good people is more dangerous than the brutality of the bad people. It is obvious today that America has defaulted on its promissory note insofar as her citizens of color are concerned. Instead of honoring the sacred obligation, America has given the Negro people a bad check, a check which has come back marked insufficient funds. We may have all come on different ships, but we're in the same boat now. A man dies when he refuses to stand up for which is right. A man dies when he refuses to stand up for justice. A man dies when he refuses to take a stand for which is true. Never, never be afraid to do what's right, especially if the well-being of a person or animal is at stake. Society's punishments are small compared to the wounds we inflict on our soul when we look the other way. We must build dikes of courage to hold back the flood of fear. That old law about an eye for an eye leaves everybody blind. The time is always right to do the right thing. Peace is not merely a distant goal that we seek, but a means by which we arrive at the goal. Quotes 2. It is not the violence of the few that scares me. It is the silence of the many. Use me, God. Show me how to take who I am, who I want to be, and what I can do, and use it for a purpose greater than myself. We learn to fly the air like birds. We learn to swim the seas like fish, and yet we haven't learned to walk the earth as brothers and sisters. My obligation is to do the right thing. The rest is in God's hands. It is always the right time to do the right thing. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. The most dangerous criminal may be the man gifted with reason, but with no morals. If we do an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, we will be a blind and toothless nation. It's alright to tell a man to lift himself by his own bootstraps, but it's cruel jest to say to a toothless man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. An individual has not begun to live until he can rise above the narrow horizons of his particular individualistic concerns to the broader concerns of all humanity. And this is one of the big problems of life, that so many people never quite get to the point of rising above self, and so they end up the tragic victims of self-centeredness. They end up the victims of distorted and disrupted personality. I am what I am because of who we are. To ignore evil is to become an accomplice to it.